The champagne glass slipped from her trembling fingers, shattering against the hotel suite floor. "You never told me," she whispered, backing away from him. All this time. The truth that had been hidden beneath his gentle smiles and kind eyes now stood exposed in the moonlight streaming through their wedding suite window. A truth that would change everything. If you're enjoying this story so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more emotional journeys that explore the complexities of love, trust, and redemption. Your support helps us continue creating content that touches hearts. Vanessa Chen had always been the wild one. The impulsive friend. The one who lived for the thrill and the story she could tell afterward. At 32, she had built a successful career as a travel blogger, her Instagram filled with exotic locations and adventures that made her followers swoon with envy. But behind the carefully filtered photos was a woman who had never allowed herself to be vulnerable, who used humor as a shield against the possibility of heartbreak. Another wedding invitation? Vanessa groaned, tossing her phone onto the couch beside her best friend, Mia. That's the third one this month. At this rate, I'll be the only single person left in San Francisco. Mia laughed, scrolling through her own phone. You could always get married too, you know. Right. To whom exactly? The dating pool in this city is basically a puddle of man-children who can't commit to a dinner reservation, let alone a relationship. What about that guy from your gym? The quiet one who's always reading between sets. Vanessa rolled her eyes. Daniel? The single dad? Please. He's so serious. Always talking about his daughter and responsibility. Not exactly my type. He seems nice, Mia shrugged. And he's definitely into you. He's looking for a mother for his kid, not a girlfriend, Vanessa said dismissively. Besides, marriage is just a social construct designed to trap people in monotony. I'd rather die alone with my passport collection. But later that night, scrolling through yet another engagement announcement on social media, something inside Vanessa snapped. The constant pressure from her traditional Chinese parents, the pitying looks from coupled friends, the endless questions about when she would settle down, it all became too much. That's when the idea struck her. A ridiculous, outrageous idea that was so perfectly Vanessa. I'll get married as a joke, she announced to Mia over brunch the next day. I'll prove how meaningless the whole institution is. We'll get divorced after a month, and I'll write a viral blog post about the experience. It'll be performance art. Mia nearly choked on her mimosa. You can't be serious. Dead serious. And I know exactly who to ask. Vanessa's eyes gleamed with mischief. Daniel from the gym. The perfect straight man for my comedy. Vanessa, that's insane. He has a child. You can't play with people's lives like that. I'll be upfront about it. It's a social experiment. He'll probably say no anyway. But to Vanessa's surprise, Daniel didn't say no. When she approached him after their usual Tuesday evening workout class, awkwardly explaining her project as a commentary on modern relationships, he listened quietly, his dark eyes unreadable. So let me get this straight, he said finally. You want us to get married as some kind of statement about the meaninglessness of marriage? Exactly. Vanessa said, relieved he understood. It's performance art. We'll document the whole thing, get divorced after a month, no hard feelings. I'll even split any revenue from the blog with you. Daniel was silent for so long that Vanessa began to regret her impulsive proposal. Then, to her astonishment, he nodded. Okay, he said simply. Okay? Just like that? A small smile played at the corners of his mouth. Just like that. But I have conditions. Name them. My daughter, Lily, can't know it's not real. She's 8 and has been through enough. As far as she's concerned, we're really getting married. Vanessa hesitated. She hadn't considered the child aspect seriously. Fine. What else? We do this properly. Real ceremony, real honeymoon, real living together for the month. If you're going to critique marriage, you should actually experience it. Deal, Vanessa said quickly, before she could change her mind. But nothing physical between us. This is strictly business. Daniel nodded, extending his hand. Partners, then. As they shook on it, Vanessa felt a strange flutter in her stomach that she quickly attributed to excitement about her brilliant plan. This would be her most popular content ever. #MarriageIsAJoke would trend for weeks. What Vanessa didn't anticipate was how quickly her fake engagement would spiral into something that felt alarmingly real. Daniel's daughter, Lily, was ecstatic about the news, immediately asking if she could call Vanessa Mom. The guilt that pierced Vanessa's heart at the child's innocent joy was unexpected and unwelcome. Then there were the wedding preparations. Daniel approached each task with thoughtful consideration rather than the reluctant participation Vanessa had expected. He had opinions about flowers and music. He suggested they write their own vows, to make it more authentic. "You're really committing to this bit," Vanessa remarked one evening as they sat at his kitchen table, addressing invitations. Daniel looked up, his expression serious. "I don't do anything halfway, Vanessa. Even jokes." As the wedding day approached, Vanessa found herself increasingly confused by her own emotions. She enjoyed Daniel's company more than she cared to admit. His quiet strength, his devotion to Lily, even his dorky dad jokes, they were growing on her. And Lily, the little girl, had somehow worked her way into Vanessa's heart with her gap-toothed smile and endless questions about the world. "Cold feet?" Mia asked the night before the wedding, as they shared a bottle of wine in Vanessa's apartment, surrounded by half-packed boxes. "No," Vanessa said too quickly. "It's all going according to plan." "Is it?" Mia raised an eyebrow. "Because you haven't posted anything about this being a joke in weeks. Your followers think you're genuinely in love." "I'm saving the reveal for maximum impact," Vanessa insisted, but the words sounded hollow even to her own ears. The wedding day dawned bright and clear. They had chosen a small ceremony in a garden overlooking the bay, with only close friends and family in attendance. Vanessa's parents had flown in from Taiwan, tearfully embracing her and expressing their joy that their daughter had finally found a good man. Standing before the mirror in her simple white dress, Vanessa barely recognized herself. The woman staring back at her looked happy. Genuinely happy. Not the carefully curated happiness of her Instagram posts, but something deeper and more frightening. "This isn't real," she whispered to her reflection. "Remember the plan." But when she walked down the aisle and saw Daniel waiting for her, handsome in his dark suit with Lily standing proudly beside him, something shifted inside Vanessa. His eyes, when they met hers, held such warmth that she momentarily forgot to breathe. Their vows, which they had written separately, were supposed to be subtly ironic, at least Vanessa's were. But when Daniel spoke, his voice steady and sincere, there was no trace of irony in his words. "Vanessa, I promise to be your partner in all things. To support your dreams and share your burdens. To create a home with you filled with laughter and understanding. To show you every day that love isn't a trap but a freedom, the freedom to be fully yourself and fully accepted." When it was her turn, Vanessa found herself abandoning her prepared speech, the clever lines about temporary forever suddenly seeming cruel and small. "Daniel," she began, her voice shaking slightly, "I promise to be open to the possibility that I've been wrong about many things. To learn from you and Lily what it means to build something meaningful together. To be brave enough to let down my walls and see where this journey takes us." The kiss they shared after being pronounced husband and wife didn't feel like part of an act. It felt like a beginning. The reception passed in a blur of champagne and dancing. Vanessa found herself genuinely enjoying the traditions she had once mocked, the first dance, the cake cutting, the toasts. Daniel's hand in hers felt right somehow, and when Lily hugged them both, calling them my family with such certainty, Vanessa's eyes filled with unexpected tears. Later, as they prepared to leave for their honeymoon weekend at a coastal resort, Lily hugged Vanessa tightly. "I'm so happy you're my mom now," she whispered. "Dad said we had to wait for the right person, and you're perfect." Guilt and something deeper twisted in Vanessa's chest as she hugged the child back. What had started as a joke was becoming the cruelest kind of deception. In the car, driving toward the coast with Daniel beside her, Vanessa was uncharacteristically quiet. "Having regrets already?" he asked lightly, though something in his tone suggested the question wasn't entirely casual. "No," she said slowly. "The opposite, actually. I'm thinking maybe we don't need to end this after a month." Daniel glanced at her, his expression unreadable in the gathering dusk. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying maybe we could try for real. I like you, Daniel. And I love Lily. These past weeks have been different than I expected." A strange tension filled the car. Daniel pulled over at a scenic overlook, the ocean stretching before them in the fading light. "Vanessa," he said carefully, "there's something I need to tell you." The seriousness in his voice made her stomach clench. "What is it?" "I agreed to this arrangement for a reason. A reason beyond what you know." Vanessa's heart began to race. "What do you mean?" Daniel took a deep breath. "I'm dying, Vanessa. I have an aggressive form of brain cancer. The doctors give me 6 months, maybe a year." The world seemed to tilt beneath her. "What? No. That's not, you can't be." "I am. I've known for 3 months. That's why I agreed to marry you. Not as a joke, but because I needed someone for Lily." Horror dawned slowly as the implications became clear. "You married me so I would become Lily's guardian when you die?" Daniel nodded, his eyes filled with both regret and determination. "She needs someone, Vanessa. Her mother abandoned her when she was 2. There's no other family. When you proposed your experiment, I saw an opportunity. I thought if you spent time with us, if you got to know Lily, maybe you'd care enough to stay in her life after I'm gone." Vanessa felt as though she'd been struck. The betrayal was so complete, so calculated, that she could barely process it. "You used me." "Yes," he admitted. "Just as you were using me for your social media stunt. The difference is, I did it for my daughter." They arrived at the honeymoon suite in silence, the weight of revelation hanging between them. As Daniel unlocked the door, Vanessa's mind raced through the implications. Her joke had become a tragedy. Her performance art had become a real-life drama with stakes higher than she could have imagined. In the moonlit suite, with its romantic touches that now seemed like cruel mockery, Vanessa finally found her voice again. "Why didn't you just ask me? Why the deception?" Daniel sat heavily on the edge of the bed, suddenly looking exhausted. "Would you have said yes if I had told you the truth?" "Hi, I'm dying, would you consider becoming my daughter's guardian?" "I don't know," Vanessa admitted. "But I deserved the chance to make that choice honestly." "You're right," he said quietly. "I was desperate. When the diagnosis came, all I could think about was Lily. What would happen to her? Who would love her the way she deserves to be loved?" The champagne glass slipped from her trembling fingers, shattering against the hotel suite floor. "You never told me," she whispered, backing away from him. "All this time." The truth that had been hidden beneath his gentle smiles and kind eyes now stood exposed in the moonlight streaming through their wedding suite window. A truth that would change everything. "I'm sorry," Daniel said, and the genuine remorse in his voice only made it worse. "I know it was wrong. But I was running out of time, and Lily, she needs someone like you. Someone strong and vibrant and full of life." "I'm not that person," Vanessa said, her voice breaking. "I'm selfish and shallow. I married you as a joke, Daniel. What kind of person does that make me?" "A person who's afraid," he said simply. Just like I was. Afraid of different things, maybe, but still afraid. They talked through the night, anger giving way to grief, grief to a fragile understanding. By dawn, they had reached an impasse of honesty. Two people who had entered marriage with hidden agendas, now forced to confront the consequences of their deceptions. What happens now? Vanessa asked as the first light of morning filtered through the curtains. That depends on you, Daniel said. The legal paperwork is done. You're Lily's guardian if anything happens to me. You can walk away now, knowing you'll be called when it's time. Or you can stay. Not forever. Just for whatever time I have left. Get to know Lily better. Prepare her. Prepare yourself. Vanessa closed her eyes, overwhelmed by the choice before her. The old Vanessa would have run, packed her bags and disappeared to some far-flung destination, posting carefree photos as though nothing had happened. But something had changed in her these past weeks. I need time, she said finally. Not to decide if I'll be there for Lily, I will. I promise you that. But to figure out what this means for us, for now. Daniel nodded, relief visible in his tired eyes. That's all I can ask for. They returned from their honeymoon early, the pretense of romance impossible to maintain. To Lily, they explained they missed her too much to stay away. To friends and family, they maintained the facade of newlywed bliss while privately adjusting to their new reality. Vanessa moved into Daniel's spare bedroom rather than sharing his bed as originally planned. She learned his medication schedule, accompanied him to doctor appointments, and researched experimental treatments with the same determination she once applied to finding hidden travel gems. And she fell in love with Lily, truly, deeply, irrevocably. The child's resilience, her imagination, her capacity for joy despite the shadows in her young life, they humbled Vanessa. Together they baked cookies, built elaborate pillow forts, and created scrapbooks filled with photos and stories of their adventures. What Vanessa hadn't expected was to fall in love with Daniel too. Not the superficial attraction she had initially acknowledged, but something profound that grew in the quiet moments between crises. In the way he read to Lily each night, voices for every character. In his patient explanations of complex topics to both of them. In his refusal to be defined by his diagnosis. 3 months into their marriage, as Daniel's symptoms began to worsen, Vanessa moved into his room, not out of obligation but because she couldn't bear to waste the precious time they had left. I never thought I'd say this, she whispered one night as they lay together, his head on her shoulder, but I love you, Daniel Chen. He smiled against her skin. I know. I've loved you since you explained to Lily why plankton are the real heroes of the ocean. That was our third date, she said, surprised. Our fake date. Nothing about it felt fake to me. As Daniel's condition deteriorated, Vanessa's priorities shifted completely. Her social media accounts went quiet. The blog post revealing their joke marriage was never written. Instead, she channeled her creativity into making memories for Lily, documenting their family moments in private journals rather than public posts. 8 months after their wedding, Daniel entered hospice care at home. Vanessa became his caregiver, his advocate, his wife in every meaningful sense of the word. The woman who had once feared commitment now committed herself fully to loving a man she knew she would lose. On their final night together, as Lily slept in the chair beside his bed, Daniel took Vanessa's hand. I need to confess something, he whispered, his voice weak but his eyes clear. More secrets? Vanessa attempted a smile through her tears. Just one. I wasn't completely honest about why I chose you. Tell me. It wasn't just for Lily. It was for me too. I'd watched you at the gym for months before you ever noticed me. Your energy, your laugh, the way you lived so fully in each moment, I wanted that in my life, even if just for a little while. Vanessa pressed her forehead to his. You got more than you bargained for.